taking action for you.
Right now at 5, the fate of Florida and the future of America in your hands tonight. The voters were just 2 hours away from the polls closing. The choices this election day that could change the country. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jameis Newell.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thanks for joining us. We'll be with you all night long, tracking the national, state, and local elections as the results come in, live on the air and online. Our
live team coverage of reporters is standing by right now, monitoring the biggest races and where they stand.
But we begin with Melissa Mahadeo live in South Tampa, looking for problems at the polls. Melissa, with polls closing at 7 o'clock tonight, how are things going right now?
Well, Wendy, as we're hitting that 5 o'clock hour right now, you can tell that voters are starting to get off work because take a look, the parking lot, as you see, starting to fill up. We can see a steady stream of people walking inside, hoping to make their vote count. Still, overall today, we saw little to no line throughout Hillsborough County. At last check, Hillsborough was reporting a turnout just shy of 55%, so voters are still showing up as we speak. We spoke with one woman who said she planned to be an early voter like the 182,000 other county voters, but she just wasn't quick enough.
I was actually going to do mail away, but I didn't have time to mail it back. So brought it with me, turned it in, and then just voted in person instead.
And as you heard, you have that option too. You can also drop off your mail-in ballot at a supervisor of elections office. If you have already filled it out, there are 4 of those throughout the county, or you could bring it into your polling location, turn it in, and then go ahead and go and vote inside. You have until 7 p.m. tonight to get that mail-in ballot in or to physically come in and vote. For right now, I'm Melissa Mahadeo for ABC Action News.
Melissa, thank you. Meantime, the nation will be watching Florida tonight to see who will become our state's next governor. Republican Ron DeSantis and Democrat Andrew Gillum both casting their votes today. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska traveled to Tallahassee to watch the results come in with Gillum's campaign. So, Michael, how's the mood out there?
Well, Wendy, you know, it's raining now, and that has been a concern for Andrew Gillum all day today, worried about if this will keep people away from the polls. A sea of umbrellas behind me, and the stage is currently covered off. Early this morning when we caught up with Andrew Gillum, the mayor of Tallahassee, he was voting in a little bit of fog with his family. He was there with his son, and he was seeing a little bit of rain, but cast his vote this morning, and he was extremely excited, just like everyone else here. They are not going to let this rain dampen their spirits, and if this is anything like what we saw last night with a rally and a concert with a bunch of celebrities and them cheering on people to get out to vote today for Andrew Gillum, then that momentum might carry on, and Gillum expected to see a lot of millennials come out in support of him and hit the polls today. Still have a couple of more hours to get out and vote. Let's hear what Gillum told us this morning.
Us winning tonight, I think, will send a message to Mr. Trump and Mr. DeSantis as well, that the politics of hatred and of division, of separation, that they've come to an end. At least in this election, that's what we're going to show.
And Gillum told us tonight that he feels confident that a lot of those Republican early voters are actually going to hit the polls and actually already cast ballots for him. He doesn't think that they're going to vote for President Donald Trump. He thinks that a lot of those Republicans want change. We'll have to see if that happens. We'll be here all day today, rain or shine. We're live here in Tallahassee. Michael Paluska, ABC Action News. Carson, sorry, you're in Orlando. Carson, let me send it over to you. I think you're dry inside, right?
Hey, Michael. Yes, we are inside the Rosen Hotel Center in Orlando, right off International Drive. This is where Republican gubernatorial candidate Ron DeSantis will be huddling up with his supporters tonight. It could be a late night after a very contentious governor's campaign. Now, DeSantis did vote today over in Ponte Vedra Beach, that is in the Jacksonville area. He also tweeted out, "Let's finish strong to voters." But DeSantis saying on the campaign trail in recent days that he sees historic energy on his side, noting Republican voters, their intensity this midterm. In the latest Quinnipiac poll, it is tight. Democratic candidate Andrew Gillum with a slight lead over DeSantis, a 7-point lead. But at this time, who knows who'll win? Back to you.
Carson, thank you. The race to represent Florida in the U.S. Senate could determine the balance of power in Congress. Governor Rick Scott is challenging the incumbent, Bill Nelson. ABC Action News reporter Ryan Smith continues our team coverage from Governor Scott's election night watch party in Naples. Ryan?
No surprise here, guys. Florida plays a big role in this very tight race. Governor Rick Scott hopes to shift his administrative duties from our capital in Tallahassee to the nation's capital. ABC Action News catching up with Governor Rick Scott earlier this afternoon right in Tampa as he spent some time meeting campaign volunteers and his supporters. Now this marks, get this, the most expensive Senate race in Florida history. The governor, a wealthy former healthcare executive, putting up more than $60 million from his own pocket to help win a seat in the U.S. Senate. And records show us he spent about $12 million of that in just the final 2 weeks. Scott has campaigned heavily on job growth and taking his economic successes from Florida to Washington. In addition to being a very, very expensive tight race, this also marks a historic race. A win tonight for the governor puts 2 Florida Republicans in the U.S. Senate, something that has not been done in more than 100 years. And for incumbent on the incumbents camp, Senator Bill Nelson, we go live to Julie Salamone in Orlando.
Ryan, well, Senator Bill Nelson has hung on to this U.S. Senate seat since 2000. That's when he was first elected, so that's 18 years. He's hoping to hang on to it again today. A low-key election day for Senator Bill Nelson, though. He just attended private events, but in the past days, he has campaigned throughout Central Florida, including areas like Orlando, Kissimmee, and Melbourne. He also waved to drivers and held up signs. He attended a rally with actress Eva Longoria, who is involved with Get Out the Vote efforts in the Latino community. Nelson says he's for lower taxes, better education, Medicare, and Social Security. Now he is hosting a watch party here at the Embassy Suites. The doors open at 7 o'clock. It's supposed to be a very tight race as he goes up against Governor Rick Scott. Reporting live in downtown Orlando, Julie Salmon, ABC Action News.
Julie, thank you. And ABC Action News is your election night resource. As soon as the polls close at 7, we'll go live on air to track the results as they come in. Our coverage on all of our streaming platforms starts at 8. We'll bring you insight from our expert analysts and victory speeches as they happen. And make sure you've downloaded our free mobile app, and we will send you push alerts once the major races get called.